In recent months, a growing sense of unease has swept across the United States as American consumers grapple with rising prices on everyday items, groceries, clothing, and household goods. What was once a quiet concern is quickly escalating into widespread fear as new policies around import taxes take effect. The era of cheap, duty-free international shopping is rapidly coming to an end, and the ripple effects are being felt from dinner tables to department stores and even the nation's job market. The end of the $800 rule. For years, American consumers enjoyed a generous duty exemption on imports. Any item priced under $800 could be shipped into the U.S. without facing import taxes. This rule fueled the explosive growth of platforms like Temu, Shein, and AliExpress, which offered inexpensive goods directly from overseas sellers, mostly based in China. But that loophole is closing. New trade measures now impose a minimum $25 fee on all imports, regardless of the product's price. That $3 hairbrush or $6 t-shirt from Temu now comes with a significant markup, wiping out the appeal of low-cost shopping for millions of American households. Stockpiling groceries with long shelf lives. The cost of groceries, many of which are sourced from overseas or rely on imported ingredients, is also on the rise. While inflation has been slowing in some sectors, the cost of essential items like cooking oil, canned goods, rice, and instant noodles continues to creep up. The uncertainty has pushed many Americans to take matters into their own hands. In suburban neighborhoods across the country, people are clearing warehouse shelves of long-life staples. Membership-based retailers like Costco and Sam's Club have reported surges in sales of bulk rice, beans, flour, and powdered milk. Some households are building emergency pantries, drawing comparisons to the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic, when panic buying led to empty store aisles. "I just can't trust that prices will stay the same week to week," said Emily Carter, a mother of 3 from Ohio. "We've started buying in bulk, dried lentils, freeze-dried meals, and even powdered eggs. It's our way of fighting back against inflation." Retailers and importers struggle. While consumers tighten their belts, businesses that rely on international supply chains are caught in the crossfire. Importers face increasing costs, not just from the tariffs themselves, but also from slowed customs processing, increased compliance paperwork, and price volatility in global shipping markets. Retailers that built their brands around affordable prices are particularly vulnerable. Small businesses that imported wholesale products from China and resold them in local markets are reporting a significant drop in demand. The situation is equally dire for major retailers who are now caught between raising prices to stay afloat or eating the cost and risking bankruptcy. These challenges are already triggering layoffs in logistics, warehousing, and sales departments. Industry analysts warn that if the current trend continues, widespread unemployment in the retail and import sectors could follow, contributing to an economic downturn, a looming recession. When consumer spending slows, the entire economy feels the squeeze. According to the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis, consumer expenditure accounts for nearly 70% of the country's GDP. If American families are buying fewer clothes, electronics, and household goods, the shockwaves will eventually hit everything from advertising and marketing to manufacturing and transportation. Moreover, small and mid-sized businesses, already weakened by the post-pandemic recovery, are the most exposed. Bankruptcies in this segment are rising, and the reduced tax revenue from these businesses threatens to strain local economies, possibly dragging the nation toward a recession. What if China retaliates? The U.S. isn't the only country sharpening its trade tools. China has already hinted at imposing retaliatory tariffs on American-made products entering its market. If implemented, these duties could drastically reduce demand for U.S. goods ranging from agricultural products to high-end technology and automobiles. American exporters, particularly farmers and manufacturers who rely heavily on China as a market, are bracing for impact. Iowa corn growers and Wisconsin dairy farmers, many of whom rely on Chinese buyers, stand to lose billions in revenue if tariffs go into effect. And it's not just the agricultural sector at risk. Tech companies, electric vehicle manufacturers, and even beauty brands could see exports dry up almost overnight. The ripple effects would extend into employment. Fewer exports mean fewer jobs in production, packaging, logistics, and sales. For industries already operating on thin margins, this could be the tipping point that forces mass layoffs. A path forward? Economists say the only way out of this spiral is through carefully calibrated trade negotiations and targeted economic relief. While the aim of reducing dependence on foreign goods is understandable from a national security perspective, the transition must be managed with caution to avoid deepening the financial struggles of ordinary Americans. In the meantime, fear continues to rise across the country, fueled by grocery receipts, shrinking paychecks, and the growing awareness that the global economy is no longer an abstract concept. It's a force reaching into every kitchen, closet, and cash register across the United States. If the current trajectory holds, the U.S. could soon find itself dealing not just with inflation, but with a full-blown recession, rising unemployment, and a strained trade relationship with one of its largest economic partners. The question now is not just how much more people can afford, but how long they can hold on.